Let's see. I covered this at the Young Turks. This shit had 1.4 million views, baby.
Yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this gets picked up.
Here's Tucker Carlson losing his mind at a Dutch historian he had on as a guest. My favorite crypto fascist lost his cool after having Rutger Bregman on a show, thinking this would be the usual the lefter hypocrites hour.
Are you the first person ever to note that people are flying private to talk about global warming and that none of them mention tax avoidance? Has anyone ever said that before at Davos that you know of?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Davos history, but it is a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Just listen to how excited Tucker is, thinking this guy is just gonna play into his narrative after dunking on a bunch of billionaires at Davos.
I mean, 1,500 private jets have flown in here to hear Sir David Attenborough speak about, how we're wrecking the planet.
The vast majority of Americans, for years and years now, according to the polls, including Fox News viewers and including Republicans, are in favor of higher taxes on the rich. But no one's saying that at Davos, just as no one's saying it on Fox News, right?
And others have noted that. We've noted it on this show. We've just never gone to Davos and said it out loud as you did. So if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off to you. What response did you get?
I mean, they were not very happy with me, but I'm just, I think, a random Dutch historian who's basically saying whatever around the globe is thinking.
But this is the moment when the wheels start coming off, when Bregman starts talking about taxes. And watch Tucker malfunction because he doesn't have a dialogue tree prepared for this point.
Well, what was interesting, I thought, about what you said was that you noted something. I mean, many people have called for higher taxes, but very few
Well,
have
not on this
noted.
channel.
It would be interesting to know how many hours of Fox you've watched.
There you go, deflect, drive the narrative back to the tax avoidance thing. Don't talk about higher taxes. Oh, please, dear God, don't talk about higher taxes on Fox News. And after this, Tucker tries to claim this is a different economy now, so we somehow can't have higher taxes for the wealthy for some reason, even though the reason labor was outsourced overseas is also because of capitalism, but whatever. But Bregman doesn't cave and actually doubles down and then drives the point that Tucker is working to hold up the system.
So I think the issue really is one of corruption and of people being bribed and of not talking about the real issues. What the Murdochs basically want you to do is to scapegoat immigrants instead of talking about tax avoidance.
Whew! Calling out the Murdochs, billionaire tax avoidance, and the immigrant scapegoats? Oh, Lord, dude.
You are a millionaire funded by billionaires. That's what
You look chubby back then? How do you look better now than in this video, man? That was years ago. What the f? It's called money, bitch. That's what it is. What do you mean? It's money. I was fucking broke back. I was a broke boy. I wasn't chubby back then. I was actually skinnier back then. I just looked chubby, I guess.
you are. You're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem, actually.
Got him. Now watch Tucker bot malfunction.
AOC, wait, but can I just say, and
You're just not talking about certain things.
it doesn't even, Fox doesn't even play where you are.
Here I imagine Tucker falling down a deep, dark, bottomless well, and this is him just like trying to grab onto anything, just a ledge, a branch, anything. And this is all he can come up with. Despicable.
Well, have you heard of the internet? I can watch things whatever I want, I have, actually. I can't say I'm a great fan of your show, but I do my homework when you invite me on your show. You're probably not going to air this, but I went to Davos to speak truth to power, and I'm doing exactly the same thing right now. You might not like it, but you're a millionaire funded by billionaires, and that's the reason why you're not talking about these issues.
But I am talking about these issues.
Yeah, only now. Come on, you jumped the bandwagon. You're all like, oh, I'm against the globalist elite, blah, blah, blah. It's not very convincing, to be honest.
Why don't you go yourself, you tiny brain, and I hope this gets picked up. Because you're a moron. I tried to give you a hearing, but you were too annoying for me.
You can't handle the criticism, can you?
I don't know how this clip is allowed on the internet. This is literally my kink, okay? Some people
Redhead with no freckles. We got a daywalker on our hands, boys. Okay, we're gonna move on from this. There's more. I don't even know which one this is about. This is from fucking 4 years ago.
Hi, Tucker Carlson's white pilling your dads every night.
On the left, you may have noticed everything is about race. Everything, even things that have nothing to do with race.
There's one thing Tucker Carlson hates. It's continuing to wear bow ties. That and talking about race. Unless it's about preserving the white race.
Everybody gets a safe space except white men. They are hated and despised. Attacking white men for being white men. Attack white men for their privilege in a whole bunch of ways.
I was handed a box of saltine crackers, and in a group chat during the event, a student photoshopped my face onto a cracker.
This is what Tucker Carlson's doing with Bill.
By the way, I've been on that fucking cracker shit for years too. Another fucking point of consistency for old Hassan versus new Hassan. Look at this. Look at this. This is from 2018, man. It's from 2018, dog. That's 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was talking about fucking crackers and making jokes about it when, like, again, dipshits like Tucker Carlson tried to make this like a major point of contention. They try to act like this was the biggest deal. 5 years ago, white nationalists were still fucking complaining about the top of the hour ad break.
Bill O'Reilly's coveted 8 p.m. slot on Fox News, which is currently the 3rd most popular cable news show in the country.
By the way, just to pause, I assume that's a slur against your ethnicity, correct?
I've talked about this on my Twitch a lot, but only the most important subjects are covered on Tucker's show, like white genocide, which is in fact something that the left is advocating for, apparently.
You guys noticed the fucking subtle promo for my Twitch back then? That's how I was trying to grow it.
But he did not notably advocate for genocide. A Georgetown professor called Christine Fair did do that.
Imagine being a producer on Tucker's show, constantly scouring the internet looking for blue checkmark Twitter users saying dumb things while they're emotionally distraught in order to make wild claims like that the left is advocating for white genocide. Of course, this isn't how white genocide is actually happening. According to the folks Tucker is mirroring, white genocide is happening because immigration is changing the nation's demographics, and it's being justified by an evil liberal plot called diversity.
Diversity is our strength, they screech, as if that settles the conversation by itself, like a magic talisman.
Here is Tucker Carlson. This is another Media Matters video that I love. Basically, literally mirroring white nationalist agitated propaganda. Identical to what the white nationalists are saying. Here's Lana Lochtef saying the exact same thing that he's saying. Here, I mean,
As if that settles the conversation by itself, like a magic talisman.
Diversity. We hear about it non-stop. It's the mainstream motto.
Tucker's relentless attacks against diversity, multiculturalism, and immigrants as a whole are literally identical to white supremacists, white nationalists, and neo-Nazis. They're also reductive and oftentimes completely baseless comparisons.
How precisely is diversity our strength? Since you've made this our new national motto, please be specific as you explain it.
Well, for one, diverse executive boards generate better returns, among countless other studies that show the many benefits of diversity, but I'm sure the biases of racially anxious agitators are more important than empirical evidence.
Can you think, for example, of other institutions, such as, I don't know, marriage or military units, in which the less people have in common, the more cohesive they are?
Well, Tucker, you have the most in common with your family members. Are you suggesting keeping marriage within your family? Why do you want to have sex with your cousins, Tucker? Also, as far as non-diverse militaries go, maybe you should open a history book and take that up with General Robert E. Lee. Go on, Tuck. What else?
Latin American countries are changing election outcomes here by forcing demographic change on this country at a rate that American voters consistently say they don't want.
this guy, for the record, is what Glenn Greenwald is calling like a brilliant American military state guy.
This assertion is preposterous because, I mean, it's completely untrue. Just look at polling data. 75%.
He said Latin American countries are changing U.S. electoral outcomes because they're sending people by the droves. Okay? That's what he said. Which, by the way, so did Richard Spencer. That's the whole cut. Like, that cut is supposed to show what Tucker Carlson is saying is identical to what white nationalists, white supremacists say.
Of Americans say that immigration is a good thing. So who are the Americans you're referring to here? These guys?
It sounds to me like we got a problem with people who got here legally altering the landscape.
Another fucking Heil Titler-ass bitch right here, Christopher Cantwell. Behold the master race, by the way. Every single person on the right side of the fucking screen is saying identical shit to Tucker Carlson is another ugly ass, out and about, openly fucking white nationalist, openly white supremacist Nazi, for the record.
Politically, I don't like it. You. Stop it.
But I guess we should just run the country on the white fragility of crying neo-Nazis as opposed to the overwhelming majority of Americans' wishes. But play us out, Tucker. Give us a cherry-picked example that could easily be countered with facts.
Hazleton's population was 2% Hispanic. Just 16 years later, Hazleton is majority Hispanic.
Yeah, the majority Hispanic population in Hazleton literally revitalized a dying fucking economy. Tucker Carlson looked at that positive example of immigration changing, yes, the demographic makeup of an entire town, while also simultaneously creating a tremendous amount of fucking opportunities for businesses to thrive in a town that like America had forgotten. And he literally is saying that like it's a bad thing. Why is it a bad thing? Because some of the people in Hazleton were fucking racist and literally thought he was right about the exchange. Brother, are you fucking stupid? The article that Tucker Carlson is referencing here was unironically an article that legitimately promoted what happened to Hazleton. And he looks at that article and like picks apart the demographic shift and gets mad about it.
That's a lot of change. People who grew up in Hazleton return to find out they can't communicate with the people who now live there. And that's bewildering for people.
Hazleton's a perfect example of immigrants saving a small coal mining town from absolute economic annihilation by opening up small businesses, and even the large immigrant-run corporations who have brought jobs over to the small town. This is, of course, despite the efforts made by the white population to fight off the immigrant scourge with...
Just understand that real quick. Think about how fucking stupid that is. You're so profoundly fucking racist that you're like, I don't even want economic help. I don't even want economic prosperity if it means that, like, you know, immigrants are going to be living next to me.
Unconstitutional regulations. And even the Nat Geo article that you're using here to advance your narrative mentions the reality that immigration has drastically improved Hazleton. But you won't hear that part because Tucker...
Like, look at this. Hazleton's population is younger, the hospital is no longer in bankruptcy, and major employers such as Amazon, Cargill, and American Eagle Outfitters have opened distribution centers and plants offering jobs.
Reality that immigration has drastically improved Hazleton. But you won't hear that part because Tucker's not in the business of making America better. He's just trying to do white identity politics. And I'm sorry to tell you this, Tucker, but facts don't care about your feelings. I'm Hassan Piker. If you're mad that...
So yeah, there you go. That's just like how Tucker Carlson cuts propaganda. Oftentimes he's just like, he doesn't hate capitalism, but he hates capitalism if capitalism is promoting diversity.